Good to see you. So what's your take on this backflip, the Queensland Premier taking tests, then going for certificates, now going back to tests, possibly saving $150 per traveller? How have you made sense of this?
Chaotic, scatterbrain politics of the Queensland Premier. I mean, what on earth is going on? For 24 hours, she goes out there, and all of a sudden, everybody would have to go to a pathologist, get a written certificate to go back to their home state. I don't get this. And then all of a sudden, she tries to pull this sneaky little Swifty of, oh well, we want the federal government to pay for it. She puts out a tweet with welcoming that the federal government is paying for it, based on what? Based on, I don't know, whatever was floating through her head at that time. And now it's back to where we've always been. You can get a PCR, you get a test. It's 50-50 between the state and the federal government for the person who gets the test. It's free, and we're back to where we started. I don't know. It's for 24 hours. It's I know she was moved by the spirits. I think I don't know what was going on, but what worries me is she's running the state, and that is a bit of a concern.
I mean, I'm confused. I'm going up to Queensland, hopefully, at Christmas, and I've got no idea now what to do. So as far as you can tell, Barnaby, what does a traveller who wants to go to Queensland now need to do?
I worry about what the next iteration coming out of the Premier's mouth is going to be. I don't know. Just stay glued to the radio and decide whether in the Empire of Anna things are going to change before you get to the border to go home. It's a lot of this thing is it's kind of crazy. It's dark side of the moon stuff. If you break your leg in Queensland and it's not life-threatening, and you're not from Queensland, you have to go to a hospital in New South Wales. And I mean, who's running the show? I mean, this is really dippy stuff. And then you've got their inability to go and talk to their own people about their own policies in regards vaccinations. They hide down in the bunker in Brisbane, in George Street in Brisbane, when they should be up in Yeppoon talking to the people and explaining their government's policies to their people. I mean, but that's Queensland. I don't know about beautiful one day and unfortunately run by Anna the next.
Meanwhile, the vaccination rates continue to lag. Meanwhile, Barnaby, on to matters out of Canberra. Disunity is death, goes the saying. So how do you win the election next year with Rebel MPs crossing the floor and either abstaining or voting against the government?
Well, anybody who's been around politics for a fair while realises that the last 2 weeks of any sitting year are always tetchy, and this one is no different. I firmly believe that the views of the people who have concerns on certain issues, they have one greater concern, and that is that you'd end up with a Labor Green government, because that's the alternative. The alternative to the Nationals and the Liberals is a Labor Green government, and just go listen to the policies of Adam Bant. All the industries should shut down, all the mining industries should shut down. What would happen to the value of our dollar if that was to happen? By reason of our dollar going down, the price of goods going up, inflation going up, interest rates having to track inflation up, it would be a complete and utter economic disaster for Australia if the green policies, which would be part of a Labor Green government, were to come into play.
Look what you've done! I'm melting! Melting! Oh, what a world! What a world! Who would have thought a good little girl like you could destroy my beautiful wickedness? Ah, the moon! The moon! I'm going!
All right, you primitive screwheads, listen up. See this? This is my boomstick. It's a 12-gauge double-barreled Remington. S-Mart's top of the line. Shop smart. Shop S-Mart. You got that?
It makes me sick what I do for this shitty planet.